meeting, Madam Chairman.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, to the Personnel Committee meeting for May 12, 2021. It's 5 o'clock, and the first order is to call to the meeting. And do we have quorum? Yes, we have Alder Maldonado, Gerhard. Okay, we have quorum. So the next item in the agenda is the approval of a minute. So I have a question here because I wasn't part of the meeting, neither Joe. I don't know, can we approve meeting that we are not participants? You mute.
Yep, sorry about that. This happened last time when we had a new group for personnel, and they did approve the prior minutes, and that was okay.
Yeah.
Yep, you can absolutely do that. And I included those minutes in the packet.
This is Gabriella
Yeah, no, I
here.
read it, but so.
This is Gabriella
Okay.
here. I was on the committee then, and I reviewed the minutes, and I, in my opinion, they reflect accurately what happened at the meeting, in case that
Okay.
matters to the two other new members of the committee.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the minutes for the April 1st, 2021 Personnel Committee meeting.
I move approval.
Any questions, comments, changes? No? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion approved. So next we have in our agenda is public appearances for non-agenda items. Do we have anyone on the chamber,
Nope.
No, ma'am, we do not.
online, on the phone? No? Okay. So then we move to the agenda items. So I know that we cannot discuss the first one. I already talked to the interim administrator in a phone call half an hour ago. So we are gonna wait for the new city administrator, and I'm gonna continue focusing on this, but I need to do it through the city administrator.
Can you remind me, Sarah, what the start date was? It was June 1st, right?
Nope, it's going to be July 12th. That's
July
his
12th.
official.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so, okay, so that one is no, we cannot, yeah, that one is had to be discussed in the admin level. Okay, so. Okay, but I'm gonna continue the way because last year I followed the protocol and the procedures and no one pay attention, no one answered me, no one gave me, so, but this is what I brought it here because maybe I'm gonna say we can discuss this and then, you know, we can move forward with some answers, you know what I mean? But at least we need to have a discussion.
And some good news, Mike Z had stopped in after he got off the phone with you, and he did indicate you had a lot of good suggestions, and that he would take that to Matt Pro, who is working on an upgrade of our website.
Mhm.
So it does sound like there may be that potential to get some updates related to some of the things that you were looking for. So
Okay.
it's timing. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have a general
Okay.
question. This is Gabriella.
Yes.
If we have some suggestions about changes to the website, is that something that there's openness to hear, and who should we contact?
Yes, there is openness to hear, and Matt Pro, our IT director, is launching. They're going to be doing an update to our website. So they've pulled in different departments. So right now, you could reach out to, you could wait until Chad gets in the role on July 12th. But if you want to start early, you could reach out to Mike Z and let him know what some of your suggestions are, and he can get that to Matt and IT and then Chad as well. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, can you inform the elders about this? Because I have a lot of suggestions, because I've been approached by constituents that they're looking information in the website and they're very confused, and I had to be on the phone with them trying to explain where to look for information, how to look. So I will say that it will be great if we can, you know, send an email to the elders. What is
Hi.
Mike doing there?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Hey, Mike Z here. Hey, I was just heading out and stopped in here, so good timing. And as I had indicated and offered to you, I'm going to send an email to City Administrator Chad Brecklin, incoming City Administrator, and then Matt Pro, specifically about this, and because it doesn't fall under the purview of the Personnel Committee as far as the structure of this group. So we will check in with them on what that process is, both from an administration level, but then also for the process for the web page rewrite or upgrade. And just to find out, how are we going to kind of request that feedback and input for, change of structure, suggestions and things like that. So I will make them aware of that, and then I'm sure they'll be back in contact with you about what that process or approach would be. Okay. No promises on the outcome of content, but at least the opportunity to offer suggestions, ideas, and then input and feedback. Does that sound good?
Yes. I'm going to be watching you.
I know you told me that, Julia. Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we move to the next agenda item is the authorization to update job title. And is the authorization to approve a job title change for the Community Center Recreation Assistant to Coordinator.
Is there a motion or can I just?
I don't know because I didn't see anything in the package about this. So this is what I was asking. What is it?
I can work into it. So I invited Chad, who is our recreation and community center manager, and he right now oversees the recreation assistant. We've recruited for this position a couple of times in the last 2 years, and every time we update the job title to coordinator, this person really is in charge of making things happen. They're not so much on the assistant side. So because we are always retitling the job for the job posting, it just made sense to bring it to the personnel committee to get it officially changed in our pay classification system. So Chad, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. The only thing that I would add to that is it's just kind of in line with, other municipalities have the same position and they term it either a recreation program coordinator or supervisor. So it's just kind of bringing it in line with the title of other communities. So it's not changing responsibilities in any way or the job description. It's just simply a title change.
So what is going to be the official title? It's going to be Community Center Recreation Coordinator. This is the official title? Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And so it's going to have any pay increase or no? Okay. Okay. So do we need to have a motion to approve this? Yes, isn't it? Yep. So I need a motion to approve the update for the job title for the Community Center Recreation Assistant to Coordinator.
I move to change the job title.
Any other question, discussion, comments? No? Okay. All those in favor of approving the job title change, say aye.
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 The motion is approved. Thank you. We change the title. Okay.
Thank you, Chad.
Bye, Chad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have the city administration transition and police chief recruitment update.
Yeah, so as I had said, Chief Brecklin is moving to city administrator role on Monday, July 12th. Right now, we're starting to work on an onboarding plan for him. So we want to make sure we get him into some appropriate trainings, have him scheduled to meet with certain stakeholders right away. So we're going to be starting to work and finalize that. And then, as you know, we had a Police and Fire Commission meeting on Monday, and that's where we presented a timeline and process for consideration. And I'm not sure if you had a chance to watch, but if you didn't, I can share my screen with you and just show you the tentative timeline and process. It was approved to start the recruitment at our Monday meeting. We do anticipate actually opening the advertisement period and accepting applications in about 2 weeks. So the week of May 24th. We hope to have this posted. Next week, we're going to use the equitable hiring tool. We've got about 5 or 6 people right now part of that. So Gabriella is representing the council for us, Rosa with our PFC. We have a police employee who's also a member of our employee resource group. I've reached out to a business, a small Fitchburg business owner, and then the HR director for the city of Madison will be helping us as well. So we have a really good variety of people who will be involved in that process. So that will be next week, Tuesday. And in that meeting, we're going to look at the survey. So, right now we have the survey to the community and the staff asking what were the types of qualities that they would really like to see in a new police chief. Well, that's the same survey we used back in 2017. We would like the hiring tool group to actually look at that survey and then potentially propose some new questions to ask. And then we would actually put that survey out probably the week that we actually post the position and have it open for a whole month. So we will have this open a month. It's going to be an open competitive posting, national search. Anyone internal is welcome to apply as well. And then we just kind of walk through all the different steps. It's going to mirror the city administrator process pretty closely, where we have, the first panel interview and then a community panel presentation. And then also a public reception, a city tour, and a PFC interview session in the closed session. So really anything our police officers have to go through when it comes to personality assessments, psychologicals, backgrounds, all of that, we would ask for our police chief to go through as well. So we have, a number of different panel member suggestions throughout the process, everything from a council president or their designee to union president to community members to be determined. So, I asked the personnel committee if you have any thoughts or ideas on folks that you would like to see being part of this process, or if you personally would like to be part of this process, please let me know. And I bring these recommendations onto the PFC and they make that decision. The PFC has the authority to make all of these hiring decisions and ultimately hire the new police chief.
I think it will be great if someone from the personnel committee is part on the panel. Especially, since Gabriela is in the other, it could be me or Joe, because we have, because of our background and the involvement with our community of color, I will say that it will be great for one of us to be part of that panel because we bring to the table others' perspective. And we know our community pretty well in the city of Fitchburg. And this is another thing that I talked to the chief to chat a couple of weeks ago about, one of the things that I know that our current chief of police does a great job to outreach in our community of color, building bridges, trust, and I would like to continue to see that in the new chief. So that one will be my recommendation. I don't know, Joe, what do you think about my comment?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think the same way that we did the work for the city administrator, I think we need to do some really intentional outreach within Fitchburg and maybe even beyond that, since a lot of people pass through Fitchburg and would potentially have contact with law enforcement as well. So it should be probably a little bit broader than just Fitchburg.
And regarding the survey, I remember that when the city of Madison went through the same process for the new chief, I remember seeing a survey, or even did a survey. I participate too, because I think they extended to more than beyond Madison of other organizations that they were working with the city of Madison, other communities. So I don't know, maybe you can take a look at what Madison did with the survey.
Absolutely.
Gabriela, yes.
One question about the survey. I think it would be interesting, just as a baseline, to ask if the person is a staff member or a resident, just because I don't think we had a sense of how many people that, that for the administrator, the breakdown between those two, and it'd be good to know how many residents are actually participating. Because staff input matters, but I'd like to know if there's enough residents kind of weighing in. And then a second comment, in terms of, the start date, you said tentatively the week of September 13th. There obviously will be a gap between when Chad leaves the position and when the new person starts. Is Chad going to be appointing an interim? Is that something that's already in discussion?
Yeah, so at the PFC next week, they'll be notified. I believe Aaron's reaching out right now to the deputy police chief. As long as he's not anticipating being an applicant, then we would put him in the interim role. And then we would notify the PFC on Wednesday. The PFC doesn't have the authority to approve reassignments. It's in the job description for the deputy chief that he would, in the absence of the chief, be the one in charge. So it would just be a notification to the PFC. So we should know by Wednesday of next week for sure who the interim will be in that time period.
My other comment regarding, you're going to do a survey, a panel, and then the location where it's going to be that, it's going to take place, that presentation, okay? And I think we need to bring it more to the city in other places, not to do it in the city hall. Or if we're going to do one or two, we can do one in the city hall. Then we need to find another location. I don't know, maybe we can do something, I don't know. I'm going to give an example, maybe a Leopold School or the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? I think we need to move the location, because if we want to have, I think people are going to feel more comfortable going to places, they're close to home, or I don't know.
I agree.
Or they don't have the mobility to go to City Hall. We should bring it to them. We should bring this to them. You know what I mean? Because
Maybe Redeemer City Church would be another location.
Okay.
Or the Catholic Multicultural Center.
Yeah.
I think we should also think about making sure we have language interpretation at any type of community gatherings. So that our Spanish-speaking residents will be able to be included. And I mean, the other thing that I think is a really big issue and a big question that people are going to have is about sort of what Fitchburg PD's relationship is going to be with ICE. There were, a lot of raids that happened, many of them in Fitchburg, and where, ICE just sort of came in and didn't notify local authorities and picked up a lot of, folks and really disrupted a lot of families. And I think that's an important discussion going on in the, particularly in the immigrant community, specifically Latinos, but also other immigrant groups. So, I mean, I think with regards to this process, we're really going to want to think of what sort of questions we want to ask.
Oh, yeah.
And how different communities, can be involved in that input process.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things that, while this person is has jurisdiction over Fitchburg, a lot of other people outside of Fitchburg are going to be impacted by their work.
Yeah, I was planning to make that comment, Joe, too, about how we can incorporate in the question that you're going to ask the candidate, a question related to ICE and or related to what are the position, because we want to know the position, and then the interaction with community of color, especially and immigrants. You know what I mean? So.
And maybe I'm out of line here, but I will just bring it up anyways. There have been a lot of searches for heads of law enforcement agencies within Dane County. Monona just hired their chief. Madison just hired their chief. We have a new sheriff. I think Middleton is going to be selecting theirs. So just thinking about like the searches and, you know, who were the final candidates in those searches. You know, those are potential candidates that we may want to, you know, make sure to like make targeted outreach to if they made it that far in the final rounds of other processes. I know like one example, I mean, it may be a little bit too big of a city, or we might be a little bit below his pay grade, but one of the finalists for the MPD positions, Ramon Batista. I think there were like 2 other candidates. So just like, you know, thinking about those folks and how we want to engage them as well.
Thank you for that great feedback.
So when is supposed to what is the deadline to say, okay, we have our chief is going to be in the fall?
Yeah, so we're hoping the mid-September that we will
Okay.
have a new chief actually starting. So we should know in August who we're going to be extending an offer to, so they can give plenty of notice wherever they are.
So my question to you is, or maybe so what happens if the pool of candidate is small? So we are going to continue. We are going to rush this, or we are going to take the time to find the, you know, I will, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not going to hire just to hire. We need to
Okay.
make sure it's the right fit. If we go through a couple of these stages and we don't have who we feel to be anyone to pass on to the PFC, we're going to have to re-announce the position and make sure that we do a good job of getting the right person in. The last thing we want to do is just hire to hire.
No. And who is going to be doing the first screening?
Yeah, so we are working on that yet. So I will screen for just the minimum qualifications, but who will actually go through with the benchmarks, we have yet to determine. So there was some ideas and thoughts, and we have yet to decide on all of these steps who the actual individuals will be, except for the equitable hiring tool, which is next week.
Are you planning to hire like a consultant, or we are going to do everything internally?
Oh yeah, we can do this internally. There's no need to hire a consultant. So, yep, we've got this. It'll just be a matter of making sure we have the right people around the table, and, you know, enough stakeholders from different areas, right? We want to make sure we have good representation, whether it's an employee, you know, like the union president, and a community, and multiple community members, and you know, just a number of people to be part of the process.
No, I asked that question because you don't want to, you know, you want to have a very diverse pool of people with a skill and different perspective, because the first filter is going to be critical. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, so how do we know that, you know,
so
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to be bringing objective benchmarks, which will be the rating criteria that we're going to be using to actually get, maybe, let's pretend we have 25 applicants. Well, we're not going to bring in all 25 for the panel interviews and presentations. So how do we bring it down to a more manageable size, maybe 10 or less? We'll be bringing those benchmarks and rating criteria that we'll be using to the Police and Fire Commission for approval before we actually start going through those. So it's not going to be a matter of people just sifting through applications and saying, yep, to this one and no to this one. It's going to be very objective. I mean, there'll be benchmarks, rating criteria to make sure we get the most qualified to the next step.
Okay, because I am curious about, because when you go to do the screen, you know, you have your candidates. you allowing that part of the process to go and do like a background, no background, but go to, do like a search. You go to Google and start searching, and believe me, you will find a lot of things there. You know what I mean? So how do we know that the people we are bringing forward, if we don't do that search, is not controversial? They don't have some, thing in the past that.
Yep. So we can do a preliminary like social media search
Okay.
and be able to do a check like that. We're not going to be doing a full-fledged criminal background that early in the process though. So that will be part is making sure we're doing the simple Google search and a
Okay.
social media check. But as for like the full-blown background, that won't actually occur until much later on in the process.
Okay.
So absolutely though, I mean, that is definitely something we want to keep in mind. There's a number of different things to check out before we bring them in for the first panel interviews and the community panel presentation.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah?
Yeah.
What is what's the pay range on this position?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I'm going to bring up the pay plan here to tell you. So they must make at least 10% higher than the deputy police chief. So I don't know off the top of my head what our deputy police chief is at, but it's definitely over the 100,000. I'm pretty sure here, but I don't have that handy right off the top of my head here. I can try to see if I can bring this up, but hang tight.
Is that Laha?
Leahy, yep.
Hey, is it 107,825?
It may be. I think he's close to the max of that range,
Okay.
if I recall right. So I think he's at close to the 61.56 per hour, if I had to guess. So that means we would, at the minimum, start that position at that much per hour. And then it would just go up then. Let's see, the police chief right now, the pay range it's at is $48.90 minimum up to $69.86. But again, we can't post the position at that minimum of $48.90 because the police chief will be brought in at least 10% higher than the deputy police chief. So if our deputy police chief is already at almost 64.3 or at 61.56, we're going to be bringing, that'll be the minimum of the pay scale. So it might only be between 61.56 and 69.86 per hour that we have to work with.
So that's like about 120, 123 or something
Yep.
a year? Okay.
Yep. 128 minimum.
Okay, any other question, Sarah, or comment that you want to make about this?
No,
I just got one.
That's really it. I just wanted to inform you, you had asked for an update on the police chief. So, looks like Gabriella.
Gabriela, yeah.
Yeah, just one comment. I'm pleased that this is going to be run similar to the administrator hiring because I thought personally that went well. I hope that the public agrees. Speaking as someone that was on the inside of portions of it, including the phone interview and the council panel interview, I was just happy with how many people were brought into the process and that the people that made the final hiring decisions were listening to the people that were part of the process. And I know the PFC has control over the hiring, so I'm pleased that they are interested in including a community survey and community input in different ways. So thanks for running a great hiring process, and I hope the public, after hearing a little bit more about this, feels good about it. And I look forward to getting a good pool of candidates in here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so next in the agenda is the department report.
Yeah, so since our last meeting, I've included this report with every personnel committee meeting. If you want to change it up at all, just let me know. But what I try to do is I try to provide all of the hires for the year, any recruitments that are in progress so you're aware, any turnover and the reasons people are leaving, initiatives that I'm working on, and future projects. So as you can see in the packet, we've had We've actually had a high turnover so far this year. That is actually being seen at a number of employers after the pandemic. I think people are kind of rethinking what they want to do. And, we've definitely lost some employees. So we've been hiring a lot. If you've looked at our website, we have a lot of openings. Not right now, we did. We're finally starting to fill positions, but our newest new hire is our brand new utility supervisor, Barry Schwingle. He started with us just last week. And our newer limited term or hourly hires we've got 5 paid on call firefighters, 3 interns, 3 engineering interns, a planning intern. It's the intern season right now, and 7 recreation seasonal positions. So we are recreation's back to a full swing. So we have almost filled all of our summer seasonal positions. And then if you look at our current recruitments in progress, we actually have a lot of people about to start. So we have our new commercial property appraiser who will be starting at the end of the month, May 28th. We have a new recreation coordinator, which is the job title you approved today. She starts on Monday. We had Town of Madison police officer interviews today. So that was a dual process with the city of Madison. So they came here and we did a joint hiring process to basically interview any of the Town of Madison police officers to see whether they go to Fitchburg or Madison. So that was a kind of neat process to do. So we've got 2 people from that process who will be proceeding to chief interviews. And then we've got 4 brand new police officers starting on June 1st. And we've got a part-time library admin assistant. This 20 hours a week position. Interviews are tomorrow. And then we have an opening for a police telecommunicator right now. And that closes on May 16th. So there's openings if you know anyone looking for a new opportunity. And then if you look at our turnover on the back, our more recent turnover reasons, our recreation coordinator that left just moved back home, which was, I believe, Kenosha area or Sheboygan, I believe. Our utility supervisor retired, and our part-time library admin assistant got a full-time job at her current employer. So she was working 2 jobs, and she's full-time now with, I believe it's United Way. And tomorrow we have our first 360 feedback meeting. So Mayor Richardson asked that all department heads start having 360 feedback. Right now, it's just the city administrator would have just given a department head their performance evaluation, but Mayor would like for multiple people to be rating department heads. So that would be maybe people you supervise, people, your peers, even external folks. So to help us put this program together, we have a focus group of department heads that are, it's a 6-week, 1 hour a week focus team that will try to put this brand new program together. So our goal is to bring this to the personnel committee in July and then implement in August.
I have a question, Sarah, about this. I think, what about alders to participate? We can give our feedback because we work with a lot of head of department.
Yep.
It will be sometime when I have issue or no response, or I have neighbors that call people, and and I have those conversations with interim city administrator about some concern. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's possible, or have you considered including the elders, because we work also pretty close. We have some of the heads of department. And I think we can give also another different voice of, I don't know. I am asking if it's possible. Or
I will definitely bring it up to the team, and I think that's a great idea. Right now, we're not even quite sure how raters are selected. So the last thing we want to happen is a department head just picks their good friends who happen to be other department heads, or just the people that they're close with, right? I mean, the goal of the 360 feedback is to help them develop, to get some good feedback. So if that's something we really have to flesh out.
But I participate in the 360 and also in my previous life, I was HR
Yep.
And I put together this plan. And the idea was first a survey that we sent to everyone that work. And I do it currently in my work. We have like an informant 365. We send a survey, to the people that work with that person most of the time. And we collect some data and it's anonymous, so you can have all the type of, because suppose if I am going to be your 365, okay, face to face, who is the other person in the middle checking that conversation, or how I going to tell you is something that I don't like about you or your performance, you know what I mean? So this is what I say. I will be curious to see how you're going to do this 365, but I think you need to incorporate also that to receive feedback from a broader pool of people, okay, is critical, so that one is my and I would like to, if you're going to do a 365 with the head of the department, I think it will be a good idea to have the voice of we are employee too, and we work closely with a lot of head of department, and I think we should give our feedback too. I don't know.
It works really slick. We use NeoGov, and they have this, that's for our performance evaluations, and they already have it set up in there where you can actually survey, and it's all electronic, and we can decide whether we want it to be anonymous or if we want people to be able to see who exactly said what. There's obviously pros and cons about both of those approaches. So yeah, there's a lot to work through. That's why we have these 6 weeks of 1 hour a week meetings to kind of talk through some of this. The reason I really wanted to involve the department heads in a focus group is because I don't want it to just be HR throwing, here's what we're going to do. And then I want them to be part of the process and kind of be champions for it when it comes down to implementing. So, yeah, but I'll definitely add that as something to consider for us to add in as raters, holders for raters.
I don't know what Gabriela and Joe think about this.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any feedback at this time, but it sounds like you're planning to bring it to the personnel committee for approval. Is that right? Okay.
You got it. Yep, it'll hopefully be in July. So that's the target.
Okay.
Yep. And that's it. That's my report. If there's anything else you'd like me to include for future reports, just let me know and I can certainly add that.
No, and the other thing, because maybe if we can read from the website, what is the role of the personnel committee, because Joe is new to that, to this. And there is also that maybe I was reading that today. It said that we can also approve training programs or come to us with, you can provide us to what are the training programs that you are implementing with the personnel. And I think that one will be nice for us to know. And also, if there are some new training program, I think you need to include the elders, because we would like to participate in some of the training that you provide, but we don't have a clue what is going on, particularly, you know what I mean? So I think that one will be a good idea if there are some training that you think that member of the council can participate, or at least provide information. It will be great too. I don't know for the new council member if we are doing the training with the legal municipality. We do it every year, and this is a very nice class for them that they should go. I don't know who is in charge of doing that.
I think that our executive assistant probably might be in charge of getting people signed up. You're talking about new council members, right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a note and I will talk to her.
And the other thing that we need to, I would like to see to have in this, in your report, is we need to start thinking about the town of Madison staffing, okay? And you need to have a plan. We need to have a plan. It's coming from the personnel office and also with the input from the personnel committee. We need to have a plan to determine what are going to be our staffing needs, because this is happening in a year, okay? And we need to determine where are the areas or the department that we need to have more, they're gonna need more staffing.
Yep.
What are the qualifications, because I don't think that we are gonna absorb another 2,000 people, no, 1,500 people without any increase in our staffing, you know what I mean? So I think it will be great if we start talking about Town of Madison staffing planning to be ready when it's happened. We have a plan in place.
Okay.
I don't know what you think, Joe and Gabriela.
Yeah, we definitely did need to do an assessment on staffing and what that would look like.
Okay. Absolutely. I will definitely add that to my HR report. I know
Okay.
that Misty and Mike pulled something together for the Town of Madison presentation as far as anticipated new positions.
Yeah, I know, but I think we need to be more, I think it was there like an estimate number, but I think we need to start being more granular from now on, because in a year we need to determine this is our need, but if we need to start hiring, we need to start hiring like maybe 3 or 4 months before the annexation date. You know what I mean? And we need to be ready. And I don't know if we are gonna take people from the Town of Madison or no. All of the things we need to discuss and determine what we're gonna do. So I think that we need to have a staffing plan for the annexation.
Yep.
And call it like that. A
Okay.
staffing plan for the annexation.
Yep.
And what are,
Absolutely. More than happy to do that.
okay. And then for the onboarding of the new city administrator, if you're gonna planning to put something together like a plan, can you share with the personnel committee?
Yeah, I can bring that to July's personnel
Okay.
committee. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so in your report, you're talking about the future project, okay?
Yep.
And I want to ask you a question about when you mentioned the city succession plan, what do you mean by that?
So we have a lot of different people who are at all different ages. So we have, for example, a lot of people in the police department that are ready for retirement or at retirement age. We actually have that all across the city. So if we have a succession plan, meaning if we know who might be going when or who is eligible for retirement, it can help us be better prepared for the fact that we might need to start cross-training more, or we might need to start thinking about hiring in a couple of years for a new, whatever the position is. So right now we don't have anything in place. So if you ask me right now, how many employees are at retirement age, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it just helps us forecast recruiting and making sure that we're equipped to provide the services that we need to provide instead of being reactive.
And then you talk about the research and cost benefits analysis of paid parental leave. I think that one is a great, initiative. So
Yeah, that is, I would love for that to happen. I think that'd be a great recruitment and retention tool as well. And it's something that a lot of employers offer. And even if it's a couple weeks or a few weeks, it's something. It doesn't have to be, I'm not suggesting 12 weeks or anything like that, but baby steps. So if we could provide something, that'd be wonderful.
Have you researched other municipalities of our size if they are doing that?
Yes, Thumb Prairie, they implemented this about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, actually. So yeah, all of their employees are eligible, and that goes for, both mom, dads, this goes for adoptions. Madison has a paid parental leave, and that's, I believe, not only for birth and adoptions, I think it's for other reasons as well. For, if they're taking care, for example, of an aging parent. So I have example policies that I can refer back to. So it's just a matter of making sure we have the money to do something like that. So I was starting to forecast and look back at how many leaves have we had in the last 5 years due to, for example, birth or adoption, and then that'll give us a better idea of maybe how many we've had, how many we might have in the future.
Yeah, I would say that one, it will be, something that I will be, because I am trying to do this in my own company. So something that we should we should continue doing a focus and try to see how we can move forward with this and do the numbers and see maybe you can say maybe we can start with 2 weeks, you know, but it's
Exactly.
something and how much it's gonna cost the city, and then you need to determine, you know, how many people are we think they're gonna apply for this. You know what I mean? Is looking at the demographic of the you know of the staff by different needs. You know, like you know, we have my personal case is we have in our company a lot of young people. It's like more than 60% are people young that they are having, you know, getting married, having family. I don't know. Last year, I don't know how many babies were born in Wagner. You know what I mean? So and so so that one is something that I think is something that you know I think we should pursue because this is a great retention tool. You know.
Yep.
And also, you know, align with our values as a city, you know, investing in our people and, you know, and so, I don't know.
Yeah. I appreciate that support. That's so wonderful to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any other thing for Sarah?
Do you want to establish a regular meetings? I don't think that we have them on the calendar yet. So typically we've met every other month.
Yeah.
And is there a certain day and time? I mean, do Wednesdays at 5, you know, like maybe the second Wednesday of every month, or I want to stay away from busy weeks for all of you. So I can certainly work with you.
Yeah, I think Wednesday, I don't know, I don't know, I don't want, for me is I don't have too many other meetings on Wednesday, you know, afternoons.
It's fine by me, but I'm flexible as well.
So,
Maybe if it's a little bit earlier to just keep it in the workday. That'd be my preference.
like
Okay.
what time?
Like 4.
Okay.
I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So maybe we shoot for the second Wednesday of every other month at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And so that would mean our next meeting would be Wednesday, July 14th at 4 p.m. And then I'll send out a reoccurring meeting request to just get it on your calendars for every other month for that second Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
4 p.m. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Excellent.
So any other future topic that you want to discuss, so Sarah can put it in the future agenda so we can work in the agenda? I don't know. Or if you have some topics for the agenda, try to send an email to me and Sarah so we can put additional topics, because if there is some of the topics they are on in the agenda, we cannot discuss it. So, you know, so, or maybe we can discuss some topic under the HR manager report. But
So just to clarify from what I heard from Mike earlier, kind of the conversations about the website, they don't fall under this purview. So that's something that Matt Pro will be following up with Alders on.
Exactly. Yep. So it sounds like Mike is going to reach out to Matt and Chad and let them know that all of you had some questions or thoughts and ideas for the website redesign, and that Matt would get in touch and let all of you know, Matt or Chad or Mike, one of those would let you know what's the best way to provide that feedback. So at this point, just wait. You know, if you don't hear anything back within 2 weeks, then please let me know and we'll get some answers out.
it will be, well, this is for the website. I have other ideas, but I don't want them to get loose. I think we need to have like a reference that we have people that speak Spanish and, you know, they can contact or email, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that in the website right now.
I think there's a way to change it so that you can change all the language on the website to your preferred language.
No, but yeah, that one you can do it, and it's depends the platform where your website is. But the other thing is, like, we have like Yesenia. I'm gonna give you an example. She's in the front desk. You know what I mean? So I don't know if people know that we have a bilingual front desk staff there to help them. You know what I mean? Or someone that they can call to the city, and there is someone. You know what I mean? Like You know what I mean?
Yep.
Something like that.
I just looked at the website with the it looks like Google Translate does different languages. But it's interesting when you do it because a lot of the things don't populate because of the way, however the website is coded. I mean, like some of it does, but quite a bit of it is still in English, even when you do the translation.
Really? I didn't know
Ooh.
that. I thought it did everything.
You should take, I mean, like, because like some of the main buttons under like that header where there's the photo and the photo that rotates, there's like agendas and minutes, online payments, all those. Those are like the main buttons that people would use, and those are all still in English when you do the translate.
Oh boy. Yeah, so
Google
it's a good
Translate is, Google Translate's pretty flawed anyways.
Yeah.
thing.
But
I
it's just
think if
something
we
to
really
consider.
wanna like be serious about it, we'd have to hire somebody.
So it's a good thing that we're redoing the website because I have a feeling that hopefully we'll be able to fix that.
And there's going to be a larger rebrand in several years down the road. I think that's in the CIP.
Yeah.
This is
We
just
have-
kind of a refresh.
We have
Right?
been moving this thing forward for many years because it's so expensive. Yeah, yeah. It's in the CIP, Gabriela. Yeah, it's very expensive to do the whole upgrade. But I think that people are now we are in more in a digital world and people are using more the online and I think we have a lot of information in our website, but it's very difficult to navigate. Even for me sometimes when I look for information, it's like and I have received many comments from residents about this, what I mean? So but but at least we have a website, so
Look on the bright side.
yeah. I have been looking in other municipality websites and I am wow by the lack of information that they provide. So so yeah, so okay. So any other comment for Sarah? I think we have a good meeting, good discussion. And then our next meeting is gonna be July 14 at 4 o'clock. Okay. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Move. Second.
All those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
The motion approved, so we are adjourned at 5:53.